Right, so I asked you to have a go at this at home, and as I said, I always want you to have a go, okay? If you struggle, you can always come and see me, but at least as long as you have a go at it, okay? So first of all, it says complete the table by writing the name of the 6 children in order of their height in the first column, i.e. writing the name of the shortest first and the tallest last. Writing in their heights in the second column and their masses in the third column. So it should look like this. So I did this earlier just so it didn't take me forever. So it should go from Susan to Sharon. Susan's 142 centimetres and her mass is 35 kilograms. Lee is 144 centimetres and his mass is 42. Okay, so as long as you've got that, that should be fine. If you didn't read it quite correctly and you put it the opposite way around, so if you went from Sharon to Susan, I wouldn't worry too much, as long as they are in order. Okay. Now, the variables. What are the variables in this? There are 2 variables. Yes, exactly. And it's actually, a hint is if you've got a table, my pen's not wanting to work, height and mass. If you've got a table of results like this, you can see the variables are here and here, height and mass. Now, is there a link between the variables? So is there a link between height and mass? Yeah? No, I don't. Yeah, because basically, if there was a link, you'd expect that as height goes up, mass goes up. But it doesn't. It sort of goes all over the place, doesn't it, mass? So there isn't a clear link. So no. Did you put there is a link?
Yeah, I didn't exactly mix up the math and the height. I thought when it was up the height, it was going up the math.
Oh, okay. So that's why it's important to make sure you're copying it down correctly. Okay. We're just going through the homework now. Okay, I'll just mark the present. Okay. And it says, why is it helpful to write the entries in the table in order of heights? Yeah, you can see a pattern clearer. Yeah, that's exactly what, yeah. So you can see a pattern clearer. So we can just at a glance look at that table and go, right, as height goes up, does mass go up? No, we can see it like that. Whereas if you just had those pictures, you wouldn't be able to see it as quickly, would you? So tables really help us see patterns clearly. Okay. So if did everybody have a go at that? And does everybody, if they did miss any out, has everybody got that written up? Good. So we're going to do another practical today. We're going to talk about fair tests. So in a fair test, what we need to think about is the variables that we want to change and the variables that we want to keep the same to make sure we do have a fair test. Okay, so we're going to look at the next page. So we're going to be looking at tubes and sounds. Now, you will all be getting a box full of a variety of tubes. Okay? And they're all different sizes and they're made out of different materials. So you'll see here, I've got some metal tubes and some plastic tubes. We've got thick ones and short ones, we've got medium ones, we've got long ones. Okay? And so this one's quite important. You need to be relatively quiet when you're doing this because you need to be able to hear the sound that it makes. And to make a sound with these tubes, you hit them against the palm of your hand like that. Okay? I'll do another one just to show you. So you can hear there's a slight difference in sound there, isn't there? Yeah, that might be, but it is. So the aim of this is to try a variety of different tubes and hear what the sound makes. So you're going to take 2 tubes and you're going to investigate one thing about them and how it affects the sound. So you might want to investigate how the length affects the sound. Okay, so if you wanted to investigate how the length affects the sound, you need to make sure everything else is the same. Okay, because if I wanted to investigate how the length affects the sound and then I chose like a metal one and then a plastic one and things like that, then I don't know whether it's the metal that's affecting the sound or something else that's affecting the sound. So, for example, I'm going to go for those ones that I just picked up then. So, a wide plastic one, a wide medium plastic one, and a short wide plastic one. Okay? So, everything's the same about these two apart from the length, aren't they? So we've got a difference there. So what I would write down is my materials would be plastic and plastic. The length, medium and short. And the width is both the widest. And then it says which note is higher, or are they both the same? So which note is higher? The second one. Yep. So I can put B is higher because it's a short one that's higher. If I wanted to investigate how the material affects the sound, then what I'd have to do is find two that are exactly the same apart from the material. So I'll choose those two, maybe. Okay. Or I could choose other different lengths of them, but it's completely up to you. But you need to make sure that everything is the same apart from the one thing that you're changing. Okay. So does that make sense to everybody? So you need to make sure when you're investigating these things that you're only changing one variable. So you need to find two things that are exactly the same apart from one variable. Might be material, might be length, might be width. And then you're noting down which one is higher. Okay. So you can do there's room there for 6 different pairs. Okay. 3 pairs there, but you might want to expand and just check with other pairs as well. Okay, so room 6 different pairs. And then while you're doing that, or after you've done that, I want you to have a think about the questions on the next page as well. Okay, so you're going to be doing 6 different pairs, finding out how material or length or width affect the sound, and then have a go at the questions afterwards. Are there any questions? Right, one of these boxes here. Okay, we're going to go through these now. So what effect does the length have on the note produced? Is it louder or is it something else? Yeah, so if it's longer, it's a lower pitch, and if it's shorter, it's a higher pitch. Okay. So do you know what I mean by lower pitch and higher pitch? Yeah? Yeah. So like lower pitch, I know musicians will know this already, lower pitch is like quite low down and high pitch is like very high. Yeah. Okay, the experiments which tell us this are the ones where we choose a pair of tubes where only one thing varies, and that is the, yeah, Martha? Yeah, the length. Okay. What effect does the width have on the note produced? Yeah. Okay, I'm not quite, but I see where you're coming from. Yeah. No effect. It shouldn't have an effect. It's okay to say no effect sometimes, okay? You don't always have to have an answer. So no effect. The experiments which tell us this, the ones where we choose a pair of tubes where only one thing varies, and that is we're on, yeah, I think you're ahead of us. Yeah, the width. And what effect does the material have? Yeah? Sorry? No effect again, yeah. And the experiment which tells us this are ones where we choose a pair of tubes where only one thing varies, and that is the material. Okay. Number 4, there's a number of different correct answers for this one. So a pupil says that wide tubes make lower notes than thin tubes. Which 2 tubes would you choose to demonstrate that the pupil is wrong? Give your answer by circling your choices. Yeah, go for it. What would you put? Both plastic? Yep. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Right. So you might have got a slightly different variation on this, and that's fine, as long as they are both the same material. So both plastic or both glass. They're both the same length, so either both long or both short. And they're different widths. So one wide, one narrow, one wide. Okay. And if you wanted a tube that would give a very high pitch note, what type of tube would you choose? Yes. Yes, the short one. A very short one. And number 6. Here are some of the pipes found in a church organ, or you can look at it a bit like pan pipes, like this. These ones? I'm not very good at pan pipes. So which one would you think would be it would give you the highest note? Yeah. Yeah, the shortest one. Right, and let's try. Let's put in that stuff. So this one, the shortest one, over the line. Right. Now, I need certain number of volunteers. We can always swap over later if you want to have a go. I need 1, 2, 3, 6 volunteers. Well, not everybody wants to volunteer. Okay, let's go for a row at a time. So this is the back row. Do you want to come back to the front? And you might have seen this before. Some people have in primary school. Right, choose one. Right, I want you to line up in left order. Yeah, I'm just here. Leo, other side. Okay, right. So these are called rule markers. And how you use them is you basically whack them to make a note. So what you're going to do is you're going to tap it against the table. Okay, we'll do one at a time from the longest to the shortest. So off we go. There you go. Yeah. So the longest one with the lowest pitch, and the highest one, so the shortest one with the highest pitch. Okay. Do you want to swap with somebody for the next row? Right, so the middle row. Go and swap your 3 1 1 for somebody. Those boom whackers, they all are corresponding to a certain musical note. So you can actually make music with boom whackers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a YouTube video of some people playing boom whackers.